AT&T Broadband presents the AT&T Broadband Daily Herald High School Football Playoff Game of the Week. This week's matchup, the Class 7A state semifinals between the Prospect Knights and the Lake Zurich Bears. Hi again, everyone. I am Perry Williams, along with the coach, John Cohn. Welcome to Mellide Field in Lake Zurich, Illinois, as we get ready for the state semifinals between the defending champion in this class, Prospect, and the upstart Bears of Lake Zurich. John, it is a cold night here, but the action should be hot.
Should be a tremendous football game. It has been a long high school football season. Our final game here on our telecast, but it should be a tremendous one. Two teams that a lot of people thought would not be here, but they are, and the winner gets the right to play for the state football championship.
Okay, let's talk about the two teams here tonight and some of the top players you'll see in action this evening, starting with the defending champions in Class 7A, the Prospect Knights. John, they won the state championship last year. They have now won 8 straight playoff games.
Yeah, and it was an amazing run last year, a program not typically real strong. Prospect came out of nowhere, and Brent Perlman, their head coach, said, "We are not here for just 1 year. We are building a tradition, and this year's team has proved that. They are back again. A lot of people didn't think they could, but again, they are 2 steps away from repeating as the state champions."
They beat Buffalo Grove in the quarterfinals. The game before that, they beat Hersey in a thriller as well, and the player who caught the winning touchdown on that one was Nick Iovino.
Well, we have watched him play for a couple of years, and what an exciting player. What a treat for the viewers to watch him. 5 feet 8 inches tall, 170 pounds, not real big, but he is a big-time player. Wide receiver, defensive back, punt returner, he is all over the football field.
Talk about all over the football field, the quarterback for the Prospect Knights, Jared Dahl, has really sparkled, especially in the playoffs.
Done a tremendous job this year. Last year at this time, Jared Dahl was pacing the sidelines watching senior quarterback George Smith. This year, it is Jared Dahl's turn, and he has taken the reins in a big way. Had a great season, over 2,300 yards passing, over 600 rushing. He is a multi-talented threat.
Okay, let's talk about the home team here tonight, the Lake Zurich Bears. They started the season with a stunning upset of McHenry. With the exception of one contest, they never looked back. And here they are in the semifinals, uncharted territories for this program.
Yeah, it really is. They've never been this far. First time ever in the state semifinals. Can Lake Zurich pull off yet another upset and go to the state championship? Everybody keeps saying no way, no way. But Lake Zurich keeps proving them wrong. We will find out tonight in front of their own home crowd.
The Bears have so many talented runners, but the man who really gets it going, here's their quarterback, Miles Beatty.
Boy, and as he stepped up his game in the playoffs, the senior quarterback, Miles Beatty, you're right, Perry, 3 or 4 speedbacks in the backfield, but it's the decision-making of Miles Beatty that is the real key, and he can really run the football, too. Has had a great playoff.
And inspiration and talent, they have a big guy in Adam Wilk.
Well, I think one of the keys to Lake Zurich advancing this far is the way their defense has improved so much. And Adam Wilk, 6'5", 250, and still growing. He is the key to their defensive line. Injured early in the year. He is healthy now. He's playing tremendous. A real tough kid on the inside of that defensive line.
So there you have it. It's Prospect against Lake Zurich. The winner moves on to the state championship game next weekend in Champaign, Illinois. And yes, Eric Schmidt along with us as well. And we'll kick off our semifinal game. You'll be watching the AT&T Broadband Daily Herald High School Football Playoff Game of the Week. The Prospect Knights against the Lake Zurich Bears here in our Northern Region Playoff Game of the Week. Our last AT&T Broadband Playoff game and regular game, as you will, of the season. But what a way to go out as Lake Zurich comes to the near sideline in front of their fans. And John, this crowd is really fired up. Let's go on the field and hear from Eric Schmidt.
Thanks, Barry. Now, suffice to say, this is probably the biggest game in Lake Zurich this year. I talked to Coach Mike DiMatteo before the game, and he's downplaying it. In fact, he's given a lot of credit to his assistant coaches, says he's got a great staff and a great group of kids that he really enjoys being around. He thinks they're very laid back today. They're going to have a lot of fun tonight, and he thinks they're ready for this game. Now, on the other side of the field, I spoke with Dave Good, who is a student activities director at Prospect. He's been around his kids all week, and they've been in this position before. But he says he has to downplay that a little bit. In fact, he compares his team to Lake Zurich to his team last year. A team coming in with a lot of experience, playing a team that has not been here before. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Eric. We do appreciate it as Prospect comes in out of the Mid-Suburban League East. overall record of 10-2, and co-champions of the Fox Valley Conference, the Lake Zurich Bears. First time they have won the conference since they joined it, and they share that with here they are in the playoffs. Prospect with a first-round win over Glenbard West, then defeated Hersey, and then the quarterfinal win over Buffalo Grove. Lake Zurich, first round, you saw it here in AT&T Broadband, defeating the Mundelein Mustangs. Then they beat McHenry, just trounced the McHenry Warriors 21-3 in the second round, and then last week jumped out to a 24-0 lead against Libertyville in the quarterfinals, then held on to win at 24-21, and they will receive the kickoff to start the game.
Oh, and you talked about the crowd being excited, Barry. It got here about 6 o'clock. Typically, the parking lot pretty empty at that time. They were already here at Lake Zurich High School using parking lot number 2. Stands are filled. You got fans all over the sidelines, both for Prospect and Lake Zurich. The crowd is ready to go. I guarantee you the players are ready to go. And you know the coaches have done all their work. So sit back. This should be an outstanding high school football game. And again, winner advances Thanksgiving weekend to the state championship game.
Kicking it off will be Ryan Bell for the defending state champion Prospect Knights. And the kick is a short one, and it's taken by Middleton, and Middleton is at the 30-yard line, and he's wrapped up at about the 34. Orlando Middleton, we saw him return a kickoff, an onside kickoff for a touchdown in their victory over Mundelein in the first round of the playoffs.
He's one of the 4 horsemen that got great speed. You see that Lake Zurich offense there. Miles Beatty, we talked about him. Chris Redding, he's their touchdown maker, the big fullback there. Middleton, McNeil, they'll bring Ray Simnick off the bench. The 4 horsemen have turned into the 5 with Ray Simnick. Lake Zurich has just tremendous speed in their offensive backfield.
Roeder is foot wide to the right. And here is Beatty, will keep it himself, and he is brought down there after a short game. Miles Beatty on first down maybe picks up a couple before he is brought down by that Knights on defense. And here's a look at Prospect on D.
Yeah, that was number 10, Ricky Radcliffe, that brought him down. That Prospect unit you're looking at right there on defense, they've been the big improvement on the season. Struggled with the Prospect defense a little bit early on, but they have come on second half of the season outstanding. They were very good against Buffalo Grove, a much, much improved defensive unit.
Pick up a 3, so 2nd and 7, up the gut they go. And here's Redding at the 50-yard line inside Prospect territory goes Chris Redding.
Looked like Brian led the linebacker, finally brought him down, but the Lake Zurich Bears, that's what they can do. They'll go up the middle, they'll go outside on you. And Chris Redding, he's their big horse, all-area running back last year, and he is repeating with another great year this year. Flexbone offense is what they run, Perry. Flexbone offense. Coach Mike DiMatteo brought that offense in when he started here 3 years ago.
Here's Beatty with Redding behind him, and here's the give to Chris. Chris gets down to the 45-yard line, so a pickup of 4 yards on the first down carry. 2nd and 6 coming up.
They're getting a good push from that offensive line. Lake Zurich's offensive line anchored by the junior Jimmy Michael, but they got Josh Ugasti and Jason Sippel. A couple of real good ones at guard. Craig Borowski, the left tackle. Derek Blanchard, the right tackle. A solid offensive line for Lake Zurich.
And already a timeout is taken by the Prospect Knights.
Now Joe Patrica, the defensive coach, you got to look at the Lake Zurich fans. They got the signs, they got the jackets out, the gloves, the mittens. A cold night, but they're also packed in together. I think they're going to keep each other warm in the Lake Zurich stands. But an interesting early timeout, Barry. Now, you don't mind taking those timeouts so much in the first half. I think it's in the second half in a tight ball game. That is when you want to save your TOs.
Well, we've seen that time and time again where the timeouts are used up early in the second half, and when you really need them, they're gone. So Prospect is trying to regroup defensively, maybe just get some jitters out.
Get a look at their 4-3 defense up front. Paul Johansson, a big guy up front, made the big play against Buffalo Grove. We'll talk about that. But Joe Patrica, their outstanding defensive coordinator, Brent Perlman, brought him here 3 years ago, and of all his coaching moves, maybe the best. Bringing in Joe Patrica, who, of course, was the ex-Palatine coach. And there's a good look at Miles Beatty, captain and leader of this Lake Zurich team.
And he has the football, keeps it himself. And very dangerously stretched out, but that's a dangerous play to do. But we have 3rd and short coming up. He's down to the 41-yard line, so he'll pick up a 4.
Watching the replay here, Miles Beatty, look at the ball handling. He's so good at the fakes. Very hard for the defense to figure out where the football is. That's a great tackle from behind. Looks like Brian Lett in front of him, and it might have been Matt Iavino who made the tackle from behind, but you really have to be smart and disciplined on the defensive side to handle Lake Zurich's offense.
Third and short. Here's Redding. Redding is stopped at the line of scrimmage. He is stopped short of the first down. Now, it could be 4-down territory here, Coach.
Oh, and that was a great battle in the trenches there. Lake Zurich's offensive line trying to get some push for their star running back, Chris Redding. But those guys right there, the prospect defensive line, Brock Collins, Paul Johansson, and company held tough, and it looks like it is 4th down.
So 4th and 1 at the 41-yard line, and why not? You're not going to get that much of an advantage by punting it away. And state semifinals, backfield is full. Here's the give to Redding. Redding is right by the marker. Let's see where they mark it. It's going to be awfully close. It will depend on the spot.
I think he got it. They went off that left tackle right between the guard and the tackle. Looks like he had enough push. We will wait for the measurement. Certainly a nice job of the prospect defense, though, to make the short yards tough.
Well, it looks like he has it, but in a game of this importance, they're going to not take any chances.
You talk about that Lake Zurich offense, Perry. They were brilliant, especially in the first half last week. It almost came too easy. As we get a look at the measurement, it is first down. The Bears keep the drive alive in the stands, and the fans below us cheering that measurement on. But last week, Perry, they just rolled over a good Liberty Tiltville team in the first half, and then almost caught napping a little bit, and the Wildcats almost came back and beat them. Lake Zurich hung on 24-21.
Nice extra effort for Redding. He now has 19 yards in the game on 4 carries.
3 touchdowns last week. I think a couple more the week before.
And here he is again. Here's Redding trying to cut out to the outside. A flag is down, and it could be a hold coming up against Lake Zurich. Let's see what the call will be. Our first penalty of the evening.
Looked like Nick Iavino. It's both Matt Iavino and Nick in the defensive backfield for Prospect. Good look there at Chris Redding, but this one's going to come back. Costly holding penalty. Obviously, the officiating crew today is rewarded by doing this game. The top officials, top crews get promoted to do the big games. So certainly this crew obviously has been graded well throughout the season and the playoffs.
And it is the
illegal
only
use of the hands on the offense. It's a 10-yard penalty. It'll remain first.
It's the only game in the state tonight. Everyone else plays tomorrow. All the other 15 games will be Saturday afternoon games.
And all the press people here, all the TV people here, it's media coverage galore, and all the spectacle is on this game tonight, no question about it. Some great games coming up tomorrow, though.
And in the northern region, Stevenson is team in 8A that is still alive. They'll be hosting Wheaton North and their great quarterback, Zach Ulrich. So they bring this back. The first pass of the game. Whoa. It is incomplete. Streaking down the sideline was Graham Roeder. So 2nd and long is coming up, 2nd and 17.
And nice coverage over there by Scott Sprague, number 8. We haven't called his name yet, but Scott Sprague very active in that defensive backfield. You got a good look there. And number 83 for the Lake Zurich team, one of their wide receivers, and certainly Perry, Miles Beatty's ability to throw the football a little bit tonight to loosen up that good prospect defense going to be one of the keys. Roeder, and even more dangerous on the other side, John Moon, 6'3", 180-pound junior, has some real good speed, so watch for those guys. They won't throw much, but when they do, they are dangerous.
Well, we talk about Sprague and Iavino are 2 of the players that just have been outstanding in their careers at prospect. To the air again, and a little fake. Is Beatty now in trouble, and he goes down for a loss. Well defended by the Knights.
Yeah, they had the pass rush on. Looked like Brian Powers for Prospect was the first to greet him. He avoided the rush of Brian Powers, did Miles Beatty, but finally brought down by that Prospect defense. Watching the replay. Powers in first. Nice job by Miles Beatty. He has that elusiveness, but then it's Brian Lett and company that converge. And we've got a great battle here, Perry. The Prospect defense much improved against Lake Zurich's offense, which really from the start of the season till now has just been explosive really all season long.
So 3rd and a bunch. George Whitten also in on that stop for the Bears. Here's Beatty rolling to his left. Looking downfield, the pass is complete at the original first down marker, but great game tackling as Chris McNeil hauled it in at the 40, but 4th and long is coming up. And Schuett will come in the front of the way.
And nice coverage over there. Looked like George Whitten. Good look at Chris McNeil. Watching the replay, you see the quickness of Miles Beatty. He can throw the football off the pass. Difficult play. Running to his left. passing with the right hand, but he puts it right on the mark to Chris McNeil. And there you see George Witten, the transfer from St. Viator, who has been playing better and better from his linebacker spot, making the tackle. Eric Schuett, very good punter.
And he gets a nice clean snap. And this will go out of bounds. As a prospect, so well coached, John, as Iavino and Sprague were back. But we've seen a lot of teams let the punt drop and then roll and bounce off them, and the coverage team will recover.
No question about it. In the years we've been doing the game, as well coached of a team, not just head coach, but entire coaching staff. You got to look there at the prospect offense now. They get their first crack with the football. Jared Dahl, the quarterback, we talked about him in the open. We didn't talk about the big running back in the backfield, and prospect typically will go with a one-back set. It is Brian Gaddis, injured most of last year. The senior is a workhorse, real strong inside runner.
Over 1,000 yards. He has set the school season rushing record. Great punt, though, out at the 11-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Knights. Their first possession on offense. And to the air they go. Dahl now in trouble. Will keep it himself with some running room. Jared Dahl. He's at the 30-yard line, at the 35, the 40, and finally brought down at the 43-yard line. Jared Dahl.
Looked like the sophomore Nick Garlish made the tackle, but Jared Dahl making something.
And dropping back to get the interception was Doug Moore. He had one last week, and he comes up with one here tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. Was it Moore? It might have been Nick Garlish, the sophomore. We'll see if we can catch it on the replay, but it really doesn't matter. Either way, it's a huge play for Lake Zurich. Watching the replay, Jared Dahl will get good protection off a little bit of a play-action fake. He looks for his secondary receiver, looks off his primary receiver. Nice job and a great defensive play. And I believe it is Nick Garlish, the super sop, who made the play, and he has had a tremendous playoff also.
So Garlish, he had one last week too. Now here's Beatty on the option. Here's the pitch of Middleton. Middleton is just popped. And it's Iavino.
And Brian Lett.
Boy,
that prospect defense, we watched them earlier in the year against Buffalo Grove, Perry. You could tell they were just kind of gaining their confidence, kind of feeling their way through. They weren't flying around the football like they are now. Now they're playing with that enthusiasm, playing with that confidence. They made a few changes, moved Brock Collins from the offensive line to the defensive line. Lett and Witten playing much better from their linebacker spot, but it is a completely different prospect defense that we saw earlier in the year.
So Beatty has a 2nd and 13. Now in the option again. Now he throws the ball. He has a man wide open. Pass is complete. It's finally brought down. But it's John Moon who snuck behind the coverage for a huge gainer for the Bears.
And Johnny Moon is the X factor for the Lake Zurich Bears. You watch their running game too much. John Moon has that tremendous speed. We talked about him a little bit earlier, but how about Miles Beatty running to his left? He takes a lick and still throws a perfect strike. Great pass by the senior quarterback, and what a catch by Johnny Moon.
31 yards on that pass play up to the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bears.
Boy, Beatty just took a shot at the end of that pass, too. Tough kid, put it right on the dime.
And here's McNeil. McNeil at the 45. And a flag is thrown. And it could be on the tackle. Something happened, maybe a face mask, we'll see. Officials huddling as McNeil, the official call, prospect is backing up.
5-yard face mask. On the defense, this will be a 1st down.
Well, our call for once was right. Face mask.
The non-flagrant kind, the incidental kind, it will go 5 yards, but it will move the chains. And Lake Zurich's had some good success on the offensive side. Great matchup here. Lake Zurich's offense against prospect defense. 2 outstanding units, well coached.
No score, 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
I want to remind everybody we will have our Daily Herald player of the game post-game down on the field. Sideline reporter Eric Schmidt.
And here's to get the second man through, and it's Sidnick, the first carry of the game. Race, another one of those players, has gotten a lot of action late in the season.
Yeah, he really has. Number 25 brought down by Matt Iavino, but Ray Simnick has become the much improved player late in the season here for Lake Zurich. And I think Prospect, I'm sure this week talked about number 25. Did not play much earlier in the year. He's a sprinter on the track team. Mike DiMatteo, the head coach, coaches the track sprinters. Ray Simnick now becoming a football player, but he's always had that sensational speed.
McNeil in motion. They give it to Redding up the gut. So third down is coming up.
Nice blocking up front from Ugasti. Jim Michael, the center. Jason Simple, the left guard. Lake Zurich's fine offensive line. There's a good look at that Prospect defensive unit. We mentioned Brock Collins. You see Brian Lett, number 41, the emotional leader of that defense. But Brock Collins, who was a tight end last year, great offensive lineman. They moved him to the defensive line, Perry. He has helped to shore up that defense.
So third and 4 coming up. On the ground, Beatty. Beatty fighting for that first down marker. I think he got it. Beatty comes from a football family. His father played at Lake Forest High School back in the 60s.
He was a soccer player coming out of high school, and his dad said, you got to give football a try. Very talented soccer player. The soccer coach tried to get him to come out. He said, I'll give football a chance. Give it a shot. And here he is 4 years later, quarterbacking with a chance. And there's a good look at head coach Mike DiMatteo, third year at Lake Zurich. But Miles Beatty, soccer is in the rearview mirror at this point as he's quarterbacking this potential state championship football team.
Kind of deja vu all over again. Fourth and short at the 40-yard line. Oh, straight ahead. Is there enough extra effort? Prospect thinks they made the stop.
Oh, man, what a great defensive stop. They're going crazy on the Prospect sidelines. Let's see who that was. Might have been Johansson on the inside. Who's getting up from the bottom of that pile?
It's Prospect football. The Knights hold on fourth down.
And it was Chris Bergner, number 53. Watch, straight ahead, power against power. And he is stopped short. Great look on the replay. Chris Bergner, Iavino, Argentine and company. Great play by the Prospect defense.
So the Knights take over first and 10 at their own 40-yard line.
It's the same play they ran on the other fourth down. They went to that gap between the left guard and the left tackle. This time Prospect shored it up. And boy, when they made that stop, you should have seen the Prospect sideline.
A minute remaining in the quarter. Delayed action, and here's the quarterback. Here's Dahl. He's at the 40, trying to find a blocker. Cuts it back to the other side of the field. Middleton is there. Finally, he's brought down close to the 10-yard line.
Wow, what a fake by Jared Dow. An amazing fake. We'll get a look on the replay as he goes almost the distance, finally brought down. Watch how the blue jerseys converge on running back Brian Gaddis.
50 yards on the play.
Hit it on his left hip, and then Jared Dowell shows his athleticism. Look at that, no blue jerseys, even in the screen, and they do a good job just to avoid the touchdown.
So he's close to 90 yards on the ground already in the first quarter.
We heard about this kid, Jared Dowell. They said, hey, we got a good quarterback filling in this year. He has proved it in his senior season, his only year playing, but he has made an impact.
Now to his right, and here's the pitch to Gaddis. Gaddis trying to turn the corner, dives forward for a nice gain on first down.
And actually, to be fair to Jared Dow, he did quarterback a couple of games last year when George Smith was injured. So Jared had a little bit of varsity experience last year.
So second and 4 coming up. A pickup of 6 on that carry by Gaddis.
Defensive coordinator for the Knights, Bill Helzer, done a great job for that Lake Zurich defense. Again, they work out of that 5-2 defensive set. Probably their short goal line defense here.
Well, that will be it. The first quarter has come to an end here. Mel-Eyed Field in Lake Zurich at the end of one quarter play of this Class 7A state semifinal matchup. There is no score on your AT&T Broadband Daily Herald High School Playoff Game of the Week. John Cohn and Eric Schmidt, our producer-director Janelle Nels with you. Start the second quarter of this 7A semifinal game, and the Prospect Knights, with no score, are knocking on the door. As we begin the second quarter of play, as Jared Dahl, the big story in the first quarter, on the ground, almost 90 yards rushing.
Big test for the Lake Zurich defense here. See if they can come up with a hold.
And here's the get to Gaddis. Gaddis fights his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown, Prospect Knights.
Well, no trickery there, just straight ahead to their workhorse, the senior Brian Gaddis, and the Prospect fans get to celebrate first here early in the second quarter.
First play of the quarter, first touchdown, and first points of the game.
Oh, and some good blocking up front. Bill Mundell, the right guard, Ryan Perry, the right tackle, Chris Berdner, the center, moving the pile a little bit, and that guy right there, Brian Gaddis, like you said, Perry, the new single-season all-time Prospect rusher.
3 plays, 60 yards. Minute 4 on that drive, most of it on that run. And here's the extra point attempt. The kick is up, and it is good by Bell. So with just 4 seconds gone in the second quarter, your score is now Prospect 7, Lake Zurich nothing. So one of the rare times in the playoffs that the Bears have been behind, where they will have to talk about that big game last week against Libertyville, where they jumped out to the 24-0 lead.
One of the rare times all season they've been behind. We get a good look there. Great look from our AT&T broadband camera crew. Up close and personal. Good blocking up front. Nothing fancy. Brian Gaddis strong across the goal line for touchdown number 1. But you are exactly correct, Perry. Really all season long, the Bears have seldom been behind. Only game they lost was to Woodstock, about halfway through the Fox Valley season. Good look at the Lake Zurich team there on the sidelines. They all dyed their hair blonde before the start of the playoffs. And I think defensive coordinator Bill Helzer dyed his hair blonde. And after they beat McHenry, I think one of their coaches, Gary Simon, I think shaved his hair. I asked Coach Mike DiMatteo, if they win this game, do you got anything planned? Coach Mike said, no.
Now they receive the ball back. They were so impressive against Mundell and against McHenry, that rematch that so many people thought the Warriors were coming smoking, and they just really handled McHenry. But here on the kickoff, and driven out of bounds, and that is
out of bounds by Rick Radcliffe, good special teams player. Doug Moore and Johnny Lopez for Lake Zurich were the heroes. Libertyville was driving down with what could have been the winning touchdown, 21-point comeback, and they were down to about the 18, 20-yard line, and a couple of times late in the game, Lohman picked off one, Doug Moore picked off one, and saved and kept the playoff hopes of Lake Zurich alive. So both of these teams coming in off of just pressure-packed, emotional quarterfinal wins last week.
Well, here comes Beatty shutting out the play. And they just keep it on the ground and well defended by Prospect. Prospect, of course, saw one of the great players in the state last week, Tommy Zibikowski, and what an athlete he is as far as running the football and the magic he can do.
Yeah, what a tough way for Tom Zibikowski to end his career for all that Buffalo Grove team. Good look at the replay, but Perry, those Buffalo Grove Prospect matchups really embodied everything about what high school football, high school sports is about. They elevated the entire school body, got the entire community excited. It was good, hard, clean football, a great rivalry over the 2 years those two schools played.
And here's Beatty, and whoops, he is brought down as they play the options so well.
And look like number 75, Danny Ellis, one of the guys, Chris Berdner in on the chase, and Miles Beatty finding out a little bit about how tough this Prospect defense is. Watch on the replay, Beatty's rolled out left a bunch. This time he's rolling out right. Berdner on the rush.
Well, these teams haven't played each other many years, John. They used to start the season 4 straight times. They played from 93 to 96, and Lake Zurich won those games. But then in the Fox Valley, they've added teams, and all their games that we talked about are conference games throughout the regular season. Now Beatty looking downfield. And the pass is intercepted by Avino at the 50-yard line. He's at the 40. Dick Iavino at the 30, brought down at the 26-yard line.
Finally brought down by Ray Zimnak, the wingback. Another big play for Prospect. We talked about Nick Iavino, number 6. You look at him out on the football field, you do not think that this kid could be an impact player, but consistently he finds a way, and he always finds a way in the biggest of games.
29 yards on his return.
Watch Miles Beatty's got good protection. He did not see Iavino, who was kind of sitting back in the zone coverage from a secondary spot. The ball went right to him. So a rare bad read by Miles Beatty, and Prospect back in the march.
1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. And here's Dahl, who's just been spectacular so far tonight. Now rolling to his left, base one tackler, still on his feet, but a good job by Dahl to pick up positive yardage on the first down carry.
Boy, just got away from Nick Garlis, the sophomore. And Nick Garlis has come to play, and there you see the Lake Zurich defense trying to fire each other up. They know this is a big defensive stop here. Don't want to get 2 scores behind. Watch Garlis just miss at the tackle. Jared Dowell showing his elusiveness. We've got 2 quarterbacks tonight that can tuck it and run, both very athletic and both great decision makers.
Second down coming up. Gaddis the lone setback. Iovino split wide right. It's Sprague to the left. It's Gaddis fighting his way forward. Post to first down yardage. A little bit shy, it looks like. So third down will be coming up.
Nice tackle by Kyle Haight, the linebacker, the captain, inside linebacker, calls the signals. You get a good look there at the prospect offense, number 53, Chris Bergner, the center. He's the kind of guy that gets no respect, Perry. Very few people talk about him, a starter on last year's team. This year he's getting to play the defensive line, took the spot that Ben Kaufman, you remember Big Ben, the defensive end, played last
number 83.
But Bergner, one of the real unsung heroes. In fact, I saw in the paper this week a couple of times, I think that they were calling him Chris Rodriguez. Chris Bergner.
And on the sneak, Dahl just powers his way forward, but credit the offensive line, John, with a good surge on the quarterback sneak. First down, the drive remains alive. Yeah. Eric Schmidt has some special guests along the sidelines. Eric.
Thanks, Barry. I have Jerry Perlman. There's a lot of dads in the stands here today, but you must be one of the proudest ones.
I'm very proud of them. That this isn't when Brent was a little kid and he was Ryan's age. He said he wanted to be coach. That's what he wanted to do. Here he is, and he's doing it. We're in the floor.
We talked. Did he get the ability from you or from your wife?
I think it's right. His wife was a fullback.
Thanks very much, and Ryan, you must be very proud of your own.
Yes, I am very proud.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's go back to the game.
All right, thanks very much. Appreciate them stopping by. You saw that first down play, second down coming up. Second and 10. Just about the inside the 15-yard line.
Just a great crowd out here for tonight's game. Very packed all the way around, and weather-wise, certainly cold, but for what could be in the middle of November, actually fairly late in November, we're actually pretty fortunate here on a Friday night. Not bad for football playing. It is a little bit slippery on the field, though. Field a little bit wet. So far, we haven't seen any of the players lose their footing.
Second down coming up. The Lake Zurich fans trying to cheer on their defenders. Going for the corner of the end zone. The pass is there. It is a touchdown. And it's Iovino or Sprague in the end zone. Touchdown.
I think it was Nicky Iovino.
It was Iovino.
Makes the interception on one end. Touchdown catch on the other. Celebration on the prospect sidelines. We mentioned to Perry, the guy's 5'8", maybe 5'8.5", but he consistently will outjump defensive backs. Great timing and a great catch in the corner of the end zone.
So they take advantage of the interception, the turnover, and they march down the field. 15-yard touchdown pass. Here's the extra point attempt by Bell. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 7:41 remaining in the second quarter, the score is now Prospect 14, Lake Zurich nothing.
Bell, a soccer player that switched over to football this year. We can talk about Nick Iovino, the hero of that particular drive here. We talked about the big Buffalo Grove game. You go back 2 weeks ago at the game against Hershey. Let's watch first on the replay here. Corner of the end zone, 3-step drop, lob it up, easy for Jared Dowell. He's done it before. How many times have the Prospect fans seen that replay? Nick Iovino making the catch, but a couple of weeks ago, Perry, Prospect was near elimination. They had to beat Hershey, a very good Hershey team, and they drove late in the game, the length of the field, a couple of huge fourth down plays. Fourth down that Iovino made amazing catches. He came through with them, and then he scored the winning touchdown on a 17-yard reception. It's amazing the chemistry that Iovino and Jared Dowell have.
He scored that touchdown against Hershey with 12 seconds remaining on the clock. Long way to go, but a good start for the visitors for Prospect.
They have done the impossible. They haven't silenced because the Lake Zurich fans have
this
still
whole
cheering
town
here.
is on fire for their Bears. Here's the kick. And once again, it's 4.
Now, these kickoffs, John, are not all that deep, but they do have good hang time. And the Bears will start at the 34-yard line.
Not sure if that's the intended strategy, if they're just missed kicks, but either way, they look a little bit awkward. Special teams, obviously. You talk about the offense and the defense. Sometimes you tend to overlook the special teams. The coaches and the players certainly don't. But to us watching, and obviously special teams can be a major factor in a ball game like this.
On the ground, here's Beatty trying to get a block. And he's just driven out of bounds by Matt Iavino.
A lot of people faked out. Matt Iavino, the one guy who stayed home. Real smart play. And Iavino, the junior, Nick's brother, 5'9", 140-pounder, started the cornerback all season. Great fakes. Miles Beatty is so good with his ball handling. And he has picked up a ton of yards, particularly at playoff time. But Iavino stays home and prevents what could have been a huge play.
Bought off the blocker and drove him out of bounds.
And it's the flex bone offense that Lake Zurich runs. They picked it up from Georgia Southern's college football team.
And first down, here's Beatty, and he is dropped for a loss.
Yeah, not that time. Not that time.
George Whitten.
The linebacker, George Whitten, number 1 on his jersey, and he's been one of their number 1 defenders. Only a junior, a transfer from St. Viator. He has made an immediate impact here in Prospect.
Going to fight through the traffic and just bring down the quarterback, Beatty.
He was a guy early in the year kind of learning Joe Petricca's system, getting used to his teammates Perry. But second half of the season, the junior has come on. He's going to be one of the top senior linebackers around next year.
Little play action fake to the air. Going long for Moon. Just cannot hit him at the 24-yard line.
Pretty good coverage by Matt Iavino on the corner. Good look at Johnny Moon. He's already caught one of those long ones. And Miles Beatty, as good of a runner as he is, as good of a ball faker as he is, he can throw the football. Just a little bit overthrown on that time. He's got a good arm.
They are 1 for 4 on third down conversions.
Coach Mike DiMatteo saying how much Miles Beatty during the offseason and during the preseason and during season studies the game, watches films. He's a real student of the game, and what a great thing to say when he's your football quarterback.
Last time they faced a third down, the pass is intercepted by Iavino. Keeping it on the ground, here's Beatty. Beatty still on his feet, he has the first down. Miles Beatty, great effort inside the 35-yard line.
I think we got to call him Houdini. Miles Houdini Beatty. How did he get out of that one? He was tied up, he was roped up, they had him sandwiched, and boom, out of the pile comes Miles Beatty. Now you see me, and now you don't. Watch.
23 yards on the pickup.
Ryan Lett not going to miss many tackles.
Missed one there, and it's a first down for the Bears.
Kevin Hoffman, number 11. Hoffman, the defensive back, the safety, finally brought him down. Great job by Miles Beatty.
Moon split wide left, Sprague on him. Here's the give to Middleton. Orlando Middleton with a first down carry at the 20-yard line.
And now they're getting the flex and the flex bone. They're using all their weapons. Miles Beatty, Redding straight ahead. Beatty rolling out, and then you got McNeil and Middleton. The 4 horsemen are starting to kick it in high gear here for Lake Zurich.
First and 10 at the Prospect 20-yard line.
Well, he only gets the football maybe 3, 4, 5 times a game, but he's so dangerous. And as you said earlier, Perry, we saw him break a long one in round 1 playoff game against the Mundelein team.
Now Moon once again, wide left. Straight ahead. Now spinning to his right, and on the keeper is Beatty.
Plenty of time here. 5:53 still left, second quarter.
How big is that third down play? If they don't get that, they could be for it. If it's third, fourth and long, they may be forced to punt. Instead, Beatty with an outstanding run, picking up the first down. And the drive is alive. 2nd and 5 coming up at the 20-yard line. Check at the 15.
Finish off the drive. If you're a Lake Zurich fan, Perry down 14-0 there. Got to see if he can get some points on the board, get the crowd back in the game, get the confidence of the team. They've really moved the ball pretty well offensively. They just haven't put it in the end zone yet.
Here's McNeil galloping.
Oh, nice tackle.
And he is brought down there by Iavino.
Nick Iavino, number 6, intercepts the ball, makes a great catch, and you say, well, maybe he's not such a good tackler. That was a great one-on-one tackle in the open field. He didn't make that tackle. It's 6 points. Lake Zurich watching the replay.
Number 6 all over the football field here in the first half.
Middleton or McNeil?
That was McNeil.
coming up. Here's Beatty on the keeper, loose football, and they whistle him down.
That might have been an early whistle, but either way, it'll be inconsequential because Lake Zurich would have recovered anyways. Chris Bergner and Kevin Hoffman in on the tackle as Miles Beatty keeps the football. We'll see if we can get a look on the replay to see if it dropped a little bit earlier, if the knee was down. Yeah, I think that ball was out.
That was a fumble.
And Lake Zurich would have recovered, so actually it was a break for Prospect.
It would have been closer inside the 5 instead it's first and goal at the 8.
This is Chris Redding time. Typically, they will give the ball to big number 20.
And here's the pitch, a wide pitch to McNeil. McNeil fighting his way toward the goal line, into the end zone. Touchdown, Lake Zurich.
The fans below us going crazy. They've been cheering all game, and now they really got something to cheer about. What an effort. What an effort by wingback Chris McNeil, dragging defenders into the end zone. What an effort and what a drive, Perry Williams, when they had to do it. Lake Zurich, against that tough Prospect defense, marches down the field, and they complete it. And that was a dangerous play to run. I mean, that was a dangerous kind of a throw-out, pitch-out right there, tough to execute. Beatty put it right in the chest, and McNeil picked it up cleanly and then just bowled the defenders into the end zone.
And they are forced now to try to go for 2. Beatty throwing in the corner of the end zone, and a flag is thrown. That drive, John, 66 yards. Took up 3 minutes, 22 seconds on the clock. And the extra point attempt will just be no good. So they wave it off. See what the official call is. Ineligible man downfield.
Was that a bobbled snap or was that a intended fake? It was kind of hard to tell.
I think it was a bobbled with a kicker like Tommy LeBouz. I think you try to put it through the uprights.
Tom LeBouz hit the field goal early in the second half last week, and little did they know with a 24-0 lead, that was going to turn out to be the game-winning field goal.
So with 4:19 remaining until halftime, your score is now Prospect 14 and Lake Zurich 6. And there you see the replay of the touchdown.
Just Chris McNeil, just the last 3 or 4 yards, great 1-2 to get into the end zone. There's that dangerous pitch. Miles Beatty just kind of flipping it out there. And you see Prospect just trying to hang on. Rick Radcliffe, number 10, and Brian Lett. But McNeil gets into the end zone. What a ball game we are having here, Perry. It's still early, but you can feel the tension, feel the excitement. Both teams playing great football. It really is a quality high school football game.
14-6 is your score.
Speaking of quality, Matt Locasio, Statman
extraordinary
Deluxe, up here in the stands.
His father congratulated him last week. And we thank all you viewers, of course, for watching us throughout the season on our Northern Region Game of the Week. Our producer director, Janelle Nels.
The only infant baby that has a little toy calculator in the crib. Guys punching numbers up already. It's amazing.
And here's the kickoff. Picked up there at the 15-yard line. And still on his feet, finally brought down, was in a loose football. Moore has it. Polano coughed up the football, and the Bears have it back.
Wow, no whistle from the referee. They're going crazy here in Lake Zurich. Huge turnover, and it was number 31, Nick Garlos, the sophomore, who made the play. And the Lake Zurich fans congratulating him. Doug Moore got him at the end, but I think you'll see in the replay, Nick Garlos is the one who made the hit and dragged the defender down. There's Garlos with the hit and just drives him back. Now you think maybe you're going to get a whistle here. No whistle, no whistle.
And they stripped the ball out.
Probably should have been a whistle, but either way, huge break for Lake Zurich. Let's see if Prospect's defense can try to stop the momentum.
And the defense comes up strong on that first down carry, John, as the give was to Orlando Middleton on the far side of the field.
Well, you know how typically we do these games, Perry, and you get that fourth quarter intensity in a close game. This game has got that fourth quarter intense feel, but it's got it from like the middle of the first quarter. There's the Prospect team on the sidelines. That great coaching staff, Brent Perlman and company, what a job he has done. Played at Buffalo Grove. Perlman was a linebacker when Rich Roberts was coaching football there under Grant Blaney.
2nd and 10 coming up. Here's Beatty rolling to his left. He has some running room. Beatty still on his feet. End zone. Touchdown, Lake Zurich.
Touchdown by Miles Beatty. Lake Zurich a chance to tie it up. It
what you don't see on the screen is Craig Borowski, number 59, threw a tremendous block in the backfield to free up Miles Beatty. And now, see if they go for two or not. 14-10. You'll probably kick just the one-pointer, but what a big play for Lake Zurich off the turnover.
Beatty now with 62 yards on the ground, 11 carries.
Boy, I'll tell you, Prospect was rushing in, about to get Beatty as he rolled out. Craig Borowski, number 59, just leveled the Prospect defender and allowed Miles Beatty to use his amazing feet to get into the end zone. Going for two.
Here's Beatty rolling out to his right. Back to the other side of the field. The pass is incomplete. He had his man there, and Moon was open, but the pass is thrown behind him. So now, with 3:20 remaining in the game, the score is Prospect 14 and Lake Zurich 12.
And Prospect,
the first half, I should say.
Gee, it feels like the second half. Feels like we got 2 minutes left in the game. We got a lot of football to be played. It may be the best game we've had all year, Perry. Watching the replay, there's the block at the top of your screen, and then Miles Beatty. He doesn't look like he's a super speedster, but somehow he is able to use those quick feet and outrace Prospect defenders.
2 touchdowns in 59 seconds.
There's the block. Good catch by the camera crew. It was Prospect's number 51, Brian Powers, that was on the chase. Brian gets leveled by Borowski. Prospect hangs on to the 2-point lead.
I'm sure they felt that the whistle would have been called, but it wasn't whistled, and credit the Bears, they took advantage.
You could even see the other Lake Zurich players. It was Nick Garlish who really made the play, and then another player come in and knock the football out. But you got to play until you hear the whistle. Credit Lake Zurich for doing a good job.
Another squibber on the ground. This one is picked up by Kevin Hoffman. Hoffman, the middle part of the field, he's brought down at the 34-yard line. Remember, Prospect has already used all its timeouts here in the first half. They have the ball back, and they have 3:15 left in the clock.
Mike figured out the kicking strategy, Perry, is we're seeing an interesting variety of pop-up kicks and squib kicks.
Battle of quarterbacks. Beatty now with 62 yards on the ground on the touchdown, 11 carries. Dahl with 95 yards in 6 carries. And the only penalties I can think of its consequence was one of the hands. We had a 5-yard face mask, and that one in the end zone on the first extra point attempt.
Cleanly played, well officiated so far.
Here's Dahl again on the fake at the 40. He has some running room. He's at the 50. And he's stopped up there, and they whistle it down at the 45-yard line.
Big pickup by Jared Dow, and guess who threw the great block to get him open? Watching the replay, Brian Powers, number 51, the guy who got leveled on the defensive side, throws the great block to get Jared Dow open. I don't know if you can see in the screen, there he is, just on the other side, but he held off the blocker, held off the defensive player. Great job by Brian Powers. Only in high school football, Perry, do you see a guy get leveled on defense and then come back and play on the offensive line. Powers, a tremendous two-way player.
Dahl now with over 100 yards rushing in the first half. 116 yards for the senior quarterback on the ground. Plus a touchdown throw. Here's the pitch to Gaddis. Gaddis cuts it back in the middle part of the field. A flag is thrown. This could be coming back.
Jeff Janis, the linebacker, number 40, coming from behind, making the tackle. George Witten doing some nice blocking ahead of Brian Gaddis on that particular play.
Holding against the Knights.
Will be against Prospect, holding. Second penalty. And no doubt Lake Zurich will take this one.
It's going to be interesting to see the adjustments the teams will make at halftime here. I don't think anyone's
holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
I don't think in the first half, Barry, either team has come out with any big surprises. You always wonder in a playoff game what teams are going to do. Last week you mentioned Prospect against Buffalo Grove, completely changed up their offense, went no huddle, threw the Buffalo Grove defense off a little bit. So far, both teams kind of doing what they're expected to do on the offensive side. No big surprises yet.
First and 20. Yeah, we saw that in the North Chicago Carmel game we did. North Chicago really threw everything out, and what an entertaining game that was.
These teams might have still a few trick plays left in the court.
Dahl finds everybody covered. Will carry it himself. Picks up maybe 11, 12 yards. Gets most of that penalty back, so second and long coming up at the 43-yard line.
Jared Dow, he played in junior football with a lot of those kids from the Buffalo Grove program and the Hersey program. They all played on the same junior football team. Watch, once again, we've seen this all game long. Receivers covered, and Jared Dow able to scramble and pick up positive yards. Senior quarterback not signed to play anywhere in college football. You could certainly think, at the very least, he would be a tremendous Division III quarterback.
Well, prospect with no timeouts is just taking its time. The line of scrimmage with 1:25 remaining here in the first half.
They got double coverage now on the this side of the screen, bottom part of your screen on Nick Iavino.
Dahl in trouble, and he goes down at the original line of scrimmage. Loss of 2 on the flip.
That's a great call, Perry, for the defensive coordinator. Credit that one to Bill Helzer. He showed coverage, had a couple of guys back, and then they blitzed. Jared Dahl not able to read it in time, and they come up with a sack. Nice job by the defensive coordinator, and of course the defense for executing.
3rd and 10 coming up. And John, I think Prospect will really take its time, even though Lake Zurich has all its timeouts left. They at least want to go in the locker room with the lead.
You're wondering, from both sides, does Lake Zurich want to use their timeout? But the ball's in midfield. I think if the ball were at Prospect's own 15 or 20, Lake Zurich be calling timeout. Right now, I don't think either team wants to use the timeout.
They're 1 for 2 on 3rd downs. Here comes the blitz. They get it. Dahl in the middle part of the field. Escapes one tackler. He has the 1st down and more. Inside the 25-yard line, Jared Dahl at the 22.
Boy, does that got to be frustrating for the Lake Zurich defense. They had him 2, 3, 4 guys had a shot at him behind the line of scrimmage, Perry, and somehow Jared Dahl able to use a burst and get away from him. Watch how the pocket collapses, and then Dahl just sprints right up the gut to get away and picks up a huge gain.
He spikes the ball with 12 seconds remaining in the first half.
Couple of shots for the end zone, and now you would think Lake Zurich goes double coverage, certainly on Nick Iavino. Now here's a situation when they might bring Ryan Holine in. You remember Holine from last year, had a torn ACL, has been injured, but he's been practicing the last couple of weeks. He's a big play wide receiver. Haven't seen him in the game yet. This could be the time they go to Holine.
Ball is at the 22-yard line. It is 2nd and 10 at the 22. More importantly, only 12 seconds remaining in the first half. Prospect leads at 14-12.
Still time to put it in the end zone 2 times if that is what Brent Perlman decides to do.
Gaddis lone setback. Picks up a block. Gaddis has his man, is wide open. Fighting his way into the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Prospect, with 4 seconds left in the first half.
Unbelievable. Prospect celebrating Nick Iavino again. Coming up with a big play. Little down and out, about 4 or 5 yards short of the end zone. You're wondering, how can you do that? No timeouts left if he doesn't.
Well, the extra point attempt was up and good for Prospect, and welcome you back as Prospect now leads it with 4 seconds remaining in the half.
And what an emotional difference, what a psychological difference that makes, Perry, coming into halftime. Even though Lake Zurich was down 14-12, they had scored the last couple of touchdowns. They stopped Prospect there. You go into halftime, you're feeling good. Now Prospect silences the crowd, takes over control of the game. A huge, huge drive and a huge play at the end of the first half.
Some huge runs by Jared Dahl, and then, of course, Nick Iavino. Those two tonight, John, has just been sparkling so far in the first half. And, of course, Miles Beatty on the other side can't hand it enough accolades to him.
And Chris Redding, you can see him, the senior star. He does not want his tremendous high school career to come to a close tonight. He would love to skip Thanksgiving dinner and head down to Champaign and play in a state championship game, number 20 back on the receiving team.
Everybody is bunched in. And this one they just squib. It's a live football, though. It's a live football. Prospect says they have it. With 2 seconds remaining, it is Prospect football. So one shot at the end zone.
And Jared Dow load up the arm and see if he can take a shot at the end zone. If Prospect has a trick play, they might want to try it now. They're kind of regrouping on the sidelines. I'm not sure if that was an intended. I think actually it was an intended onside kick, not a squib kick.
So with 2 seconds remaining in the half, Lake Zurich
Timeout
will
for
take a
Bears.
timeout. Timeout, Lake Zurich. Iavina with 2 touchdowns tonight and 1 interception. And 3 catches. He has for 40 yards. But what a first half. And Jared Dahl, his performance rushing the football has just been outstanding.
Yeah, you hear about other quarterbacks. Certainly there's some great quarterbacks around the state. Brad Bauer at Hinchdale Central, Steve Walker at Lockport. A lot of guys getting some big notoriety. But I'll tell you what, Jared Dow ranks up there with the rest of them. Watching the replay. Primary receiver, a little down and out. You're wondering, how can they throw it down and out? He's trying to get out of bounds, but then he realizes he can make the play. He had enough room to work, enough area there on the sidelines, Perry, and he turns it upfield. He was actually looking to get out of bounds and then went for the touchdown.
He had the missed tackle and then just tiptoed his way and then dove in and hit the pylon. Touchdown, Prospect.
They are AT&T Broadband camera crew right on their game here in the first half. Perry giving us some great replay looks as per always.
3 receivers split wide to the right. He's had success on his 2 touchdowns on the left corner of the end zone. They give the ball to Gaddis, so all of that. And they run the football and run out the clock. But the first half comes to an end. For the Prospect Knights, it is a good one. They lead the state semifinal matchup by the score of 21-12 over the Lake Zurich Bears. And on the field is Eric Schmidt.
Thanks very much, Barry, Coach. Not to swarm your way, but had to be the last thing you wanted to see.
Well, they're a great team, and they counterpunch really, really well, and we didn't do so well. They're Brothers State champs. We just got to come out the second half and really get after it and see what happens. I know one thing, we won't stop.
Is there anything that you're surprised about watching Jared Dahl run that offense?
No, not at all. They do exactly what we thought they would do. Unfortunately for us, we're not getting to it. That's really the long and short of it at this point.
What kind of adjustments are we going to see in the second half?
It's a good question. We're going to go ahead and talk about it right now and see what happens. We'll be ready to go.
Thanks, Coach. Barry, back to you.
All right, thanks very much. We certainly thank the coach for stopping by. His team is trailing at the intermission of this game by the score of 21-12. You're watching the AT&T Broadband Daily Herald High School Football Playoff Game of the Week.
You're watching the award-winning AT&T Broadband Network. Local coverage you count on.
The Daily Herald covers the big picture with a uniquely local focus. Take our award-winning sports section. Readers turn to the Daily Herald for the authoritative word on sports from preps to pros. Inject the provocative voices of Barry Rosner and Mike Imram, plus the Dean of High School columnist Bob Frisk. And you can understand why the Daily Herald offers Chicagoland's premier sports package. So whether you're looking to read about the pros or the preps, turn to the Daily Herald. The Daily Herald. Big picture, local focus.
The AT&T Broadband Network will take you through the semifinal round with exclusive Game of the Week playoff coverage. Thanksgiving weekend, you can watch the IHSA State Finals, classes 1A through 8A, live on WYCC TV 20 Chicago. That's Friday, November 29th and Saturday, November 30th. 12 hours of championship action, beginning at 10 o'clock each morning. Check your local listings to find the WYCC channel location on your AT&T broadband channel lineup.
This Illinois State Class 7A semifinal matchup by the score of 21-12 over the Lake Zurich Bears. And teams stretching, getting ready for the second half, and very entertaining and briskly moving first half. Let's take a look at our stats, John.
And you get a look at the rushing yards there for Prospect, 175, but really the big stat, the passing yards and the total yards in favor of Prospect with 223, and they pretty much controlled a couple of turnovers, kept Lake Zurich in the game, and you remember that big one off of the special teams play.
And they were able to punch it in the end zone on a great catch and run by Iavino, his second touchdown of the night, as he found the end zone. And looked like he was going to go out of bounds, stop the clock. He realized he had some more room. And there you see the Bears the Bear mascot trying to get the fans going. We're still a few minutes away.
Lake Zurich Bear trying to loosen up and get warm too, but there's no question about it, Perry. That quarterback, that touchdown rather, at the end of the second quarter, right at the end of halftime, a huge play in a first half of big plays, none bigger than Nick Iovino catching that bullet from Jared Dowell and get the touchdown.
Okay, let's go to Eric Schmidt is on the field. Eric.
Thanks very much, Barry. Coach, offensively, you guys just a lot of big plays and, up right now.
Yeah, we're just trying to move the ball around a little bit, create some natural seams out there. Jared Dahl, our quarterback, is doing a great job seeing the openings. And when plays break down, he's doing a nice job finding the holes and making big gains out of it. So,
thanks very much. We'll let you get ready for the second half. Guys, let's get back to you.
All right, we thank all the members of all the coaching staffs for all the help they've given up this year and stopping by with Eric Schmidt to give their thoughts. And this is our last telecast. After the championship games, go to the IHSA network next weekend on Channel 20. So make sure you tune in on Friday and Saturday to watch the various classes fight for state titles on the IHSA network.
We always talk about the amount of time and effort that the players put into it, Perry, but sometimes you forget about the coaches. And again, not the head coach, not just the head coaches, but the entire coaching staff, the amount of time and effort and work they put in to trying to make their players and their program successful. It's a real credit to all the high school coaches out there, and certainly during this football season, we have seen some incredibly well-coached football teams.
So Prospect will receive the football, the second half kickoff. Deep is Iovino. In front of him, Sprague and Gaddis.
And the Lake Zurich kicker, Eric Schuett, a soccer player, matter of fact, an all-state soccer player, number 14, Eric Schuett, who did both soccer and football last year at this time. Number 14 had no shoulder pads on. He was playing in the state soccer quarterfinals. This year the team didn't get quite that far. They had a pretty good year, but Eric Schuett, a combination soccer player / field goal kicker.
Another squibber on the ground. Covered up that time by Prospect, not taking any chances. Because on a second kickoff after they did fumble the football.
It's like both teams came in the game with the same strategy. Both teams going with the squib kicks. Neither team wanting to kick it deep and let the other team get a big play return.
So Prospect with the lead. And here comes their senior quarterback on the field, joining the huddle, Jared Dahl, 5'10", 175 pounds.
You almost get the feeling there's almost like a little bit of a lull now that was so intense in the first half, so intense at the start of the game. It's like everybody's already drained a little bit. The players, the fans, everybody has got to get their emotion back in the game. It was a tremendous first half, and obviously should be a pressure-packed second half here. Again, winner heading to the state championship game.
Here's Dahl again, turning the corner, turning on the Jets. Most of that first down marker, Jared Dahl, and all those points, John, were scored in the second quarter.
Good look at Jared Dahl right there. I'll tell you, he was turning on the Jets, but that jet went down real quick. On behalf of John Lohman, number 45, the linebacker just dragged him and threw him down to the ground. But you're right, Barry, a lot of points all scored in the second quarter.
33 the first play of the second quarter, and almost the last play.
You see big Adam Wilk, number 76, we talked about him on the open. That was a nice fake. They faked to Gaddis. Dahl kept the football. Both these quarterbacks so outstanding, so adept in their ball handling and faking abilities.
Winner plays either Edwardsville or Stagg. Here's Gaddis with the pitch. Cuts it midfield and is close to another first down, maybe a gain of 9.
Brought down and nicely brought down by Ryan Fowler, one of the defensive backs back there for Lake Zurich, but Prospect coming out with a couple of good solid offensive plays. Boy, Brian Gaddis, he doesn't get a lot of credit, but he really has stepped in that running back role. You remember last year they had Edgar Rodriguez back there running the football for Prospect. Gaddis was injured. Good look at the replay there. Injured most of last year, didn't get to run a whole lot as a junior, but similar to Jared Dow, has stepped in as a senior and had a brilliant senior season.
2nd and 1, the ball resting at the 44-yard line. We'll play action. Over the middle, the pass is complete to Witten. And Witten is taken down, but not before he gets the first down inside Lake Zurich territory at the 46.
Rudy Merritt, Nick Garlis bringing him down, but watch the accuracy of Jared Dow. There's Adam Wilk. They're blocking him. They're double teaming him, but Jared Dow with a nice combination, the quarterback for Prospect, of strength of his arm and his accurate passing. An underrated passer. He really is firing the football well tonight.
He had 2 interceptions against Buffalo Grove, but he's been pretty flawless tonight.
We've seen some quarterbacks this year, Perry, that can throw the football. We have seen some quarterbacks that are real good runners. I don't know that we've seen a quarterback that has the combination of throwing ability and running ability that Jared Dow has.
Here's Gaddis. Falls forward after a nice gain on first down.
There's no question right now, Lake Zurich's defense has the pressure on them. They've got to come up with a spot. The last thing they would want right now is Prospect to drive down the football field. So the Bears looking to come up with some kind of a turnover, some kind of a big play for this Prospect offense. It can hit you in so many ways, so many different weapons. Remember, this is a Lake Zurich defense that shut down McHenry 21-3. Libertyville and their dynamic offense shut down in the first half. So certainly the defense well capable.
2nd and 1 once again. Carlish up the middle. The pile just keeps moving. John, the interior part of that offensive line of Prospect being so strong here tonight.
Yeah, they really have the offensive line for the Prospect Knights. No question about it. Starts with Chris Bergner, the center up front. Bill Mundo and Jimmy Argentine, the 2 guards. Brian Powers and Ryan Perry, the tackles, the Prospect offensive line. Names you don't hear a lot, but doing a great job.
First down. First down for the Knights. The clock continues to run. 9 minutes. 3rd quarter. Jared Dahl back under center. Rolls to his right. That time well defended. Dahl tried to cut it upfield, and he is hammered after a short gain. Gain of 2.
Lake Zurich defense doing a nice job right there. Will Kohler, we haven't called his number too much, doing a nice job. You watch the linebacker come up and make the stop right there. Big part of their defensive line. Phipps, the nose guard, Will Kohler, and of course, Adam Wilk, the big guy in the middle of that defensive line.
Okay, you got something hanging down. I wouldn't even know what.
2nd and 9 coming up. Gaddis the lone setback. Now to the air. Pass is complete to Witten. Witten avoids one tackler on the far sideline. George Witten inside the 10. Close to the goal line, George Witten. And John, that is the play that works so effectively and is very similar in some respects to the touchdown of Iavino late in the first half.
Yeah, same play, different number. George Witten getting congratulations from his teammates. And what the Prospect Knight wide receivers have shown, Perry, is not only the ability to catch the football, and look at the protection Jared Dow gets, but the ability to turn it upfield and make defenders miss. What a move by George Witten. You saw Iavino did it early, the ability of the receiver to pick up yards after catch, so crucial, and the Knights have done a great job of that tonight.
37 yards, it's 1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
Here's Mike DiMatteo talking about trying to get pressure on Jared Dahl, the quarterback.
Here's Dahl. Dahl diving. End zone, touchdown, Prospect.
Jared Dahl, the quarterback, on the keeper, Perry. I thought Lake Zurich had him stopped, but no. The arms go up, touchdown, Prospect, and again, they're celebrating, and it's becoming a habit here on the Prospect sidelines.
Bell will be on to attempt the extra point.
Well, I'll tell you, so tough to defend. You got Gaddis running at you. You got a variety, a literal bevy of receivers that he can throw to, and then Jared Dow makes it also dangerous when he can keep the ball and run as effective as he does.
77 yards, 7 plays. 4:04 on the clock, the extra point attempt, the kick is up, and it is good. 7:56 remaining in the 3rd. The score is Prospect 28 and Lake Zurich 12. So the Knights did, boy, textbook style, took that second half kickoff and just punched it home.
Yeah, and they really did it. They used all their weapons. They ran up the middle, they ran outside, threw the ball so effectively. And for Lake Zurich now, you really got to regroup. That's exactly what head coach Mike DiMatteo and his staff didn't want to happen, but you can't avoid that now. You got to come back and see if you can get your offense on track and get back in the ballgame.
164 yards on the ground for Dahl right now. And Witten with 3 catches, 3 first downs, Stu, and he is 37 yards. Eric Schmidt is on the field.
Thanks, Barry. One of the things that I'm seeing on the field, we were just talking about the receivers. One of the things they are doing very well is selling their blocking when Jared Dahl drops back to pass. They're really making it look like Dahl is going to be taking off running, and they're doing vice versa. They're selling, running a pattern when Dahl actually does take it up the middle. Guys?
Thanks, Eric. No question about it. And interesting, too, one of the top players on prospect, Scott Sprague. So far, we haven't called his name all night. It's been Iovino, Witten, and...
Remember the game against Buffalo Grove? Scott Sprague was all over the football fields. Prospect, again, has so many weapons.
Here's Middleton, and he is still on his feet. And a dangerous runner is Orlando Middleton. He got away from Sprague, so he was finally brought down. It is kind of a pop-up kickoff, but there's a lot of hang time on it, and if it bounces, you don't know what will happen. It'll be a live football.
You see Orlando limping off the football field, watching the replay. Middleton, we've seen him in a couple of games now. He's got the ability to make people miss. Loves those special teams. How he gets away there, we do not know. You're going to watch Danny Ellis, number 75, finally bring him down, and Middleton did get up limping a little bit.
So a big series coming up here for the Bears. Here's Beatty on the keeper. Miles Beatty stacked up there at the 40-yard line.
What a great catch, what a great point by our sideline reporter, Eric Schmidt-Perry, because when the receivers do that, it puts the defensive backs, and we're talking about faking like you're going to block and then go off with a pass. It really puts the defensive backs in an awkward position because you don't know whether to come up and stop the run or to play the pass, and again, so well coached at doing that. A great point.
All season long, he's done a great job, Eric Schmidt, and our entire AT&T production team. Worked very, very hard. And of course, we will start putting the T's and I's as Reddick gets the carries. Third down coming up on the high school basketball season after the first of the year.
I'll tell you,
Northern Reach game showdowns each and every week.
The newspaper's doing a great job coming out with all their previews today. The Daily Herald with Marty Machasek with a lot of his preview articles in the weekend section of the Daily Herald. And there you see the stats on the
third down conversions, 50%, 3 of 6. Both teams really doing a pretty good job on third down. Just a key one.
Most teams would take 50% on third downs.
Here's Beatty. Here's to give to Reddick. Reddick the first down. And in prospect territory goes Chris Reddick. Chris Reddick, that very talented senior running back, gets the first down at the 47-yard line.
We haven't seen it yet, but when Reddick gets in the open field, he's got a great burst of speed, but we have seen this ability to run between the tackles. Look at Chris, gets hit right at the line of scrimmage, but picks up a good 7, 8, 9 yards after contact. So strong, keeps his legs moving. Again, all area last year as a junior and repeating this year as a senior. Just a tremendous play.
Outstanding artwork here at the art classes at Lake Zurich.
The Four Horsemen.
Oh, that time Reddick had just stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Now, prospects defense, we've talked about how much they have improved, a couple of adjustments, but
Chris Bergner in on that stop.
He's one of the guys that has stepped up his game. Chris Bergner, the starting center who plays in the defensive line. Certainly with a 16-point lead, the prospect defense, the ability, if they can stop Lake Zurich, to clinch the ball game.
Long way to go, 5:30. Moons put wide to the left. They keep it on the ground, though. Galloping for yardage is Chris McNeil. Down to about the 41-yard line, so another third down coming up.
Nice job at Mike.
4 for 7.
Head coach Mike DiMatteo calling the offensive signals. Perry not going to panic, not going to start throwing the bomb, not going to get out of their offense that they've used so effectively all season long. A nice sustained march here for the Lake Zurich Bears.
And they're within now 2-down territory.
Don't forget, with a 16-point lead, it's still within 2 scores. Obviously, you'd have to hit both 2-pointers after that.
Here's Beatty, third and short. Now in trouble and going down for a loss. And it's Scott Sprague who made the tackle as Sidnick was coming around.
And we just had mentioned, we hadn't heard from Scott Sprague tonight. There, the senior comes up big.
Guys always had big games in front of the AT&T broadband TV cameras, and Scott Sprague with a great tackle. I'll tell you, Ray Simnick, of all the fast running backs they've got, he may be the quickest, and if he gets around the corner, he is gone. So possibly a touchdown-saving tackle by Scott Sprague.
Lake Zurich really spreads it around. 5 different ball carriers here tonight. This a huge play. It's 4th down coming up. 4th at the 43-yard line. 5 yards to go. Beatty, deep drop. Looking to set up the screen. Nothing there, and he's wrapped up, and he goes down at the 45-yard line. And he is brought down by Brian Powers.
Brian Powers getting congratulations from his teammates. They're cheering up here in the press box. They're cheering on the sidelines. They're cheering in the stands for Prospect. Hard to bring down Miles Beatty, the quarterback, one-on-one, but watch Brian Powers. Defensive tackle, offensive tackle on the offensive side, but this time he makes a great play from his defensive side.
And Beatty did everything he could to get out of it. A loss of 12 and a loss over on down. 1st and 10 for Prospect at the Lake Zurich 45-yard line. Here's the pitch to Witten. Witten trying to turn the corner. Twists and turns down to close to 40, making the 41-yard line. They'll mark him down, a gain of 4.
Haven't seen that particular play out of Prospect, a little wing back or reverse, sort of like Hersey used to run.
Great spot on the field to call it, too.
Showing a different look again. You got to think both teams have practiced maybe a trick play or two, and they might bring it out before this ball game's over. Still a lot of time, but we said it in the first drive. They couldn't do it. Clearly, Lake Zurich's defense now, if they cannot force a turnover, has to come up with a stop. Another score for Prospect would really be big.
A little delayed give to Gaddis. Gaddis, 1st down. He just powers his way forward for his positive yardage down to the 30-yard line.
And there's not a lot of east-west running with Brian Gaddis. He will get the ball and go straight ahead. Nice combination, power and speed. Watch the line blocking up front. Prospect starting to win the battle of the trenches. And there you see Gaddis breaking through the line. Finally brought down by number 40 for Lake Zurich. That's Jeff Janis, one of the linebackers. But he gets a good pickup before he's brought down. 1st down.
Now 62 yards, 11 carries, plus a touchdown for Gaddis. And last year, you might remember, in the semifinals, Prospect beat Bolingbrook in just a much bigger, physically bigger team, but wore him down in the second half and won convincingly. Here's Dahl, keeping himself. And he is dropped at the line of scrimmage. Great tackle coming on in to make it was Johnny Lohman.
John Lohman has had a tremendous playoff season. Good look at number 45, saved the day. We talked about it in the first half with the interception against Libertyville. One of the hardest workers on that Lake Zurich defense. See a little bit of frustration as they're trying to find a way, and there's been a lot of teams feeling that frustration this year trying to stop that Prospect offense.
2nd and 8 coming up. Here's Dahl again, reversing his field. Gets away from one tackler, still on his feet. A relatively short game by the standards of Jared Dahl, but still an exciting runner, and he got away from a couple of would-be tacklers.
Yeah, well, he makes a short game, but it could have been a big loss. It could have been a big play for Lake Zurich. Watching the replay, a little bit of breakdown in the blocking. Nice call by the Lake Zurich defensive coaches on the blitz, and there you see 1-2 missed tackles. He is finally brought down, but a great job by Dahl to get some positive yards. It was Nick Garlish, number 31, has been so effective with his cornerback blitzes tonight. Couldn't quite get to Jared Dahl.
3rd and a long 4. Probably once again a 2-down territory, be a long field goal.
Looks like Dahl calling an audible here. See what he comes up with.
He moves Witten into the slot. And here they come. Over the middle, pass is complete for the 1st down. At the 14-yard line, it will be a 1st down.
Scotty Sprague, I believe, on the catch. And again, we talk about the running ability of Jared Dahl, but watch here in the replay. He's thrown long tonight. He's thrown short. Here's a little 4 or 5 step drop. So accurate on his passes. Jared Dahl putting it right in there. And I'll tell you, Perry, the Lake Zurich defensive backs, they got some great ball hawks back there just waiting for a misthrown football. So far, Jared Dahl has not done that.
Inside a minute remaining in the third quarter. Prospect with the lead and on the move. Gaddis, tough yardage on the first down carry.
It's a great job by Lake Zurich's defensive unit. Brian Gaddis' grandfather, George, was a legend at Prospect High School. George, the longtime athletic director. Brian coming from a long lineage of athletes in the family. Tough when you go to a school and you got to live in the tradition, live when your grandfather, go to a school where your grandfather was the legend. Got all that pressure behind you, but certainly Brian Gaddis has responded.
Well, the third quarter will come to an end, and what a third quarter for the Prospect Knights. They increase their lead in the semifinal matchup. They're 12 minutes away from a championship date in Champaign next weekend. Fourth quarter coming your way with your score. Prospect 28, Lake Zurich 12. You're watching the AT&T Broadband Daily Herald playoff game of the week.
Serving all of Chicagoland, this is the AT&T Broadband Network. Local coverage you count on.
The Daily Herald covers the big picture with a uniquely local focus. Take our award-winning sports section. Readers turn to the Daily Herald for the authoritative word on sports from preps to pros. Inject the provocative voices of Barry Rosner and Mike Imram, plus the Dean of High School columnist Bob Frisk. And you can understand why the Daily Herald offers Chicagoland's premier sports package. So whether you're looking to read about the pros or the preps, turn to the Daily Herald. The Daily Herald, big picture, local focus.
I'm Perry Williams, along with the coach John Cohn, Eric Schmidt, our producer-director Janelle Nels. Our fourth and final quarter of our season with you here tonight. Our Class 7A state semifinal matchup. Prospect with the lead at Lake Zurich by the score of 28-12. And the Knights of Prospect, the defending champions in 7A, on the move. Since they started state playoffs, only 22 teams with 2 regular season losses have gone on to win a state championship. Prospect hopes to join that club this year. Regular season loss to Buffalo Grove and Hersey. Here's the pitch to Gaddis. Well defended and brought down for a loss of 1 yard on the play.
Yeah, nice job by Lake Zurich there. The defense coming up big, and they need to. Good stops, number 55, the linebacker, or the defensive lineman, Will Kohler, in on the stop. Jeff Janis played a good second half. Watching the replay, cut back by Gaddis, nowhere to go. And you can be sure Perry, Brent Perlman, and the coaching staff talked to Prospect. Hey guys, we want to get the ball in the end zone, but they have to hang on to the football. The last thing they want to do right now is turn it over to Lake Zurich.
3rd and 10 at the 15-yard line. Sprague and Iovino to the right. Prospect 2 for 3 on third downs here this evening. Taking their time at the line of scrimmage. Gaddis the lone setback. Dahl to the air, to the corner of the end zone. The pass is complete. Oh! Touchdown, Prospect. Iovino again.
Same play, different side. Lob it up, let Nick Iovino go for it, and the Prospect Knights. Early fourth quarter, still 11 minutes left, Perry, but they have taken a commanding 34-12 lead, and Nick Iovino having the game of his life.
They are just about ready to taste champagne now.
And when I say the game of his life for Nick Iovino, he has had some great games before, but this might be the best of the bunch. And again, Dow just kind of putting it up there in the corner of the end zone where Iovino could get it, and the guy's got great hands, great timing, jumps up, snarfs the ball down.
Bell, the extra point, the kick is up, and it is good. So with 11:03 remaining in regulation time, the score is now Prospect 35 and Lake Zurich 12. 4 rushes for over 20 yards, and Iovino 4 receptions, 55 yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception. And of course, we say they take place in Champaign. We mean, of course, Champaign, Illinois Memorial Stadium, site of the state championship games. And you can see those on the IHSA network, Channel 20, next weekend.
Boy, you talk about a perfectly thrown football. Jared Dow, he has been so accurate tonight. Again, throwing it away from the defense. If the ball can't be caught, it's going to go beyond and incomplete. But of course, can't be caught is not in the definition of Nick Iovino. If it's up there, he's going to go get it. And he comes down with yet another tremendous touchdown catch. It is a stunned and silent Lake Zurich team on the sideline, Perry. They cannot believe it. You're talking about a defensive unit that has been just tremendous during the playoffs and really all season long, but Prospect has shocked them here with a couple of touchdown drives.
And Prospect, once again, last year they beat Bolingbrook in the semifinals, 47-22. It was close, and just warmed down and pulled away. And they went on to beat Edwardsville in that championship game.
I think in that Bolingbrook game, they were actually down 14-0 in the first quarter. And they ended out winning something like 45-21. They won big.
Ball gets by Redding. Redding slips, picks up the football. Here's Chris, still on his feet, and he's up at the 30, the 40-yard line. Chris Redding, outstanding return up to the 38. Eric Spitz on the field. Eric.
Thanks, Barry. Now, people at home can't see it so well because all these flashing lights are on the home sideline. Leah Leno is the person that is responsible for this. Where did you get the idea for these?
Well, originally I saw it at the State Fair in Springfield over the summer, and there was just this booth that was glowing and glowing. I thought, oh my God, we have to have these for Lake Zurich High School. It would be a great fundraiser. I called the guy up a couple weeks ago. I said, send me some samples. He brought me some samples, and I said, this is it. I wore them to school. I wore them to the game last Friday when we beat Libertyville and got us here.
What is this a fundraiser for?
This is actually a fundraiser for the yearbook staff. I'm the sponsor of the yearbook staff, and I just figured we'll just give the money to them. They work hard.
Do you have any idea how many of these you sold today? Because it's almost blinding over there.
Yeah, I ordered a lot. I think we sold 400 individual magnet lights, and we sold about 100 clip lights, so it's about 500 total.
Great, thanks very much. Hope you made a lot of money off of that.
Yeah, well, for school spirit, that's about it. We love our Bears. Woo!
Guys, back to the game.
Okay, thanks very much. Back to action. And Lake Zurich, what an outstanding season they have had, John. This is uncharted territory. And a lot to be proud of. You go anywhere through this community, Lake Zurich, let's go Bears, Bear Country, the Good News Bears, all over the town. Great regular season, Fox Valley co-champs. State semifinals for the first time, 2 victories over McHenry. One to start the season and one in the playoffs.
I'm sure right now that's not the pep talk they want to hear. They're feeling pretty bad right now. Of course, they're not going to give up. Still time, 35-12.
And here's the pass, and it is complete. And hauling it in was Sidnick.
Yeah, but your message is absolutely correct, Barry. There's no question about it. This Lake Zurich football team, similar to their girls basketball team last year, which just captured the whole community.
Right.
It really has been tremendous, and making it to the state semifinals once the pain of the game goes away. A couple of days later, and certainly beyond that, they will be awfully proud of what they brought to this community.
Let's not forget the girls soccer team reached the Final Four as well last spring. First down, though, at the 46-yard line. Sidnick in motion to the air. Beatty. Pass is complete to McNeil. McNeil is driven out of bounds. And coming on in to make the tackle was Rick Ratcliffe. He's been a very active player tonight as number 10.
Didn't notice him as much in the last game. Getting a lot more playing time now, no question about it.
The last game we mentioned, it was the 5th game of the year. They were playing Buffalo Grove at Prospect. Both teams 4-0. A lot of hype, a lot of excitement for the showdown. And that night, a rare night for us to see Prospect, they looked a little shaken early. And they lost that game 20-14.
And in the first 3 quarters, the Buffalo Grove defense completely shut them down. They scored a couple of touchdowns late, actually made a comeback, had a shot to win it. But for the first 3 quarters, that Prospect offense shut down by the great Buffalo Grove defense.
Here's Beatty. But tonight, John, they just, from the get-go, played with a lot of poise, enthusiasm.
See head coach Mike DiMatteo talking to Miles Beatty. What a job Mike DiMatteo has done. Was the sophomore coach at Grays Lake High School, came over to Lake Zurich, only 3 years, and he's turned them around, and in a big way. Mentioned some of the Lake Zurich teams. Prospect had a pretty good fall season. The boys cross-country team taking 4th in the state. Girls golf team took 8th place.
On 3rd down, Redding, first down, inside the 35-yard line. Outstanding young man, great football player, Chris Redding. First down for the Bears.
What a tough way for the seniors to have to finish their careers. Of course, you look at it, Perry, every team in the state, except for one, is going to finish their final game losing, so it happens to everybody. But certainly, this group of seniors, and really Mike DiMatteo credited last year's seniors. They started off 0-3, finished 4-5. He really felt last year's seniors were the ones that got this particular group going, showed some great leadership, and helped to turn around the program.
Here's to get to Sidnick. Sidnick tripped up on the first down carry.
3-6 was Lake Zurich a couple of years ago. 4-5 last year, so they just turned it around in a huge way this year, going 11-1. Of course, after tonight, it might be 11-2.
So 2nd and 8 coming up with 8:05 remaining.
Pretty good march down the field here by Lake Zurich.
Well, one thing having the 4 horsemen and the talent of running attack they do have, they actually do not throw the ball that much. Here's a dangerous pitch. McNeil gets it and is back at the line of scrimmage, goes Chris.
That was broken up really. Number 51, Brian Powers. How many times have we called his name? Powers broke into the backfield, didn't make the tackle, but he busted the play and really took away the little bit of trick and deception that Lake Zurich was trying.
But when you don't have emphasis on the passing game and you are behind, it's awfully tough. And they've had the luxury of having an outstanding group of athletes who can run the football.
As we saw early, Miles Beatty still can put the ball up. John Moon, Graham Roeder, a couple of pretty good receivers.
There's Reddick just spinning his way for yardage. Here's 4th down coming up.
You got to huddle. You got to hustle back to the huddle right now. You can't be thinking of just one score right now. They don't have that luxury. You got to get back in the huddle. If you're not going to run hurry-up offense, you've got to run hurry-up huddle. And Lake Zurich not doing that right now.
Inside 7 minutes.
Got to get that play in, get a quick score, and then obviously try some kind of onside kick.
It's 4th down coming up. This could be the season for the Bears. Redding. Looks like he has enough for the first down. And of course, once again, we thank everybody for watching all season long here on AT&T Broadband on our Northern Region Game of the Week. Janelle Nels, our entire crew, really put together a fine slate of games for you. We hope you've enjoyed them all.
First down for Reynolds.
Games will be advancing to the IHSA network next weekend on Channel 20.
Yes, we've been doing these games a number of years, Perry, and we say it every year. It's just such a pleasure to do the high school football games, the competitiveness of the players and the coaches. The crowds have been great. It really has been yet another great football season here in 2002.
And all the people we run in and deal with in the press boxes, the PA folks, the people that are in charge, always really nice. Always cooperative, make our jobs a whole lot easier. Just keeping it on the ground, the clock continues to run. 6 minutes.
And again, if you're Lake Zurich, I don't understand why you don't have a little bit more of a sense of urgency here. You got to try to score a quick touchdown and get back in the ball game. Miles Beatty getting the signal, bringing him to the huddle, but way too much time being wasted between plays.
Prospect opened the playoffs 35-14 over Glenbard West. Then the excitement started. 13-7 over Hersey. That winning touchdown with 12 seconds to go. Then held off Buffalo Grove at the last second. Last week to win that one 17-16, forcing a fumble on first goal at the 1-yard line. And recovering the fumble.
Yeah, they're going to have a great shot at getting to the state championship game, but Paul Johansson's play, Perry Williams, last week on a first down, not a fourth, but a 1st and 1 from the 1-yard line. Obviously the 1st and 1 would be from the 1.
Yep.
Paul Johansson shot the gap, anticipated the snap, and knocked the ball loose from Tom Zibikowski. They'll be talking about that play from years to come.
1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Here's Beatty with the pitch to McNeil. And McNeil is just wrapped up there from behind him. Once again, it's Rick Radcliffe that comes up with the tackle.
Yeah, hung on. Literally hung on to Ricky Radcliffe, number 10. 5'10", 156 pounds. List him as a quarterback. He might be their QB next year. Watch Radcliffe come on. That's what you call desire. He gets help from his teammates, but he hangs on. And that, Perry, was the play that Lake Zurich scored a touchdown on in the first half. You remember McNeil taking the ball and going in the end zone, dragging defenders.
It was 14-12 at one point, and then Prospect scored with 4 seconds to go in the first half. Had a 21-12 halftime lead. Now it's 35-12. Running up the middle Into the end zone. Touchdown, Lake Zurich.
And the Lake Zurich fans get a chance to celebrate. 4 minutes, 22 seconds left. Miles Beatty directing a beautiful drive down the field. No big plays. It was methodical. It was great execution. It was vintage Lake Zurich Bears offensive football. Narrow the gap to 35 to 18. Now you get a two-pointer here, and you're still within 2 scores. Interesting to see if they kick the extra point or to go for 2.
Well, they're lining up for the 2-point conversion.
The problem is now, if you miss the 2-pointer, then you're more than 2 scores behind.
Here's the pass. The pass is complete. They fight toward the goal line. Not good. Did not get in.
Great defensive play by Prospect, and that might end the hopes. Heck of a drive by Lake Zurich. Good play, but great conversion by the Prospect defense.
That was the second touchdown of the night for Beatty, but the extra point no good. Well defended by the Knights. 4:22 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's 35-18. Prospect leading the Bears of Lake Zurich.
Don't want to forget the basketball coaches. They've been very patient, waiting for some of their football players to get back. I know for Lake Zurich, Doug Moore, I think Johnny Lohman, a couple of the basketball players. Prospect Knights, Dominic Cannon's gone through this a couple of years, waiting for some of the football players to come back.
Well, Lake Zurich used a lot of clock in that drive, 6:41 for punching it in.
John Moon, Ryan Fowler, a couple of the other basketball players. John Czar, the head coach for Lake Zurich.
Now, you know, Prospect will have its all-hands team up, as they will no doubt try an onside kick.
Interesting garb by the Lake Zurich fans. Getting into the game, the true spirit of the game, Barry.
Yeah, that's what makes it so much fun for us to see the folks at the schools get, especially playoff time. Boy, this town was just absolutely fired up for this matchup, and what a great year they have had. And here's the onside kick attempt. Scramble for the ball.
It might have it.
But did it go the 10 yards?
Oh, I think it did. Even though it's inside the 50, I think it touched someone
if it hit
beyond
a Prospect
the 10 yards.
player, we'll see.
So you can recover it inside 10 yards as long as it touched someone.
Body language, Prospect football. The Knights get it.
Well, they have the scrum at the bottom of the pile, and the Prospect Knights get the football. Lake Zurich will probably use some timeouts on the defensive side again now.
Eric Smith's on the field with some thoughts.
Thanks, Barry. Gene Curran, the athletic director here at Lake Zurich, has been very gracious in hosting a whole lot of people on the sideline today.
It's a wonderful crowd, Eric. It's probably the best crowd we've had in a century.
Now, you're building up quite a football tradition over here now.
In the last 3 years, we've turned the program, we feel, to make it more of a spectator sport for the people here, and the kids have done a good job developing the program, and our coaching staff has just been wonderful. We got Mike DiMatteo, our head coach, has just been pleased with his performance, and the assistant coaches have hung together and done just a tremendous job.
Coach DiMatteo told me before the game that he's very surprised at how quick everything's turned around. He could have never imagined he'd be this far this soon.
Well, one of the things we just talked about yesterday, the day before, Eric, was that our kids are such wonderful kids, and they work hard, they listen to the coaches, they do what the coaches want to do. I just have admiration for our kids and everything that they've done for us.
Gene, thanks very much for having us today. We hope to see you again next year, huh?
We hope to be here.
Barry, back to you.
All right, thanks very much. A gain of 36 yards, as you saw once again. It's Iavino.
Nick Iavino taking a lot of the suspense about who our Daily Herald player of the game is going to be.
Well, you talked about the coach said at halftime, Prospect did such a great job counter-punching. Lake Zurich gets a touch on it, and here come the Knights knocking on the door yet again. Gaddis.
And, you know, the coverage for Lake Zurich, the defensive backs, they haven't been out of position. For the most part, Lake Zurich DBs have been there. It's been the accuracy of Jared Dowell's passing. He has just threaded the needle all night, and then the ability of prospects receivers to catch it and make defenders miss. But really, the coverage hasn't been bad. Jared Dow just red hot tonight at quarterback spot.
Witt brings the play in for the bench with 3:20 remaining in regulation time.
It's almost like he and Iovino have the string attached to the football, and it's like they're just able to zero in on it. They've got that tremendous chemistry, the two of them. And again, one of Prospect's top receivers not playing tonight, should be able to play in the state championship game. Ryan Holine, we haven't even seen them throw to him yet. Yet another weapon.
Bell to the right. Sprague to the left. Iovino in the slot. Gaddis the lone setback. Here's the give. Check that dog, keeps it himself. So one thing you want to do if you're prospect too is make sure you protect that quarterback as they start looking ahead to a championship game, Stag or rematch against Edwardsville.
Well, you know, when Edwardsville finds out the score, and again, that game's going to be tomorrow, they will be licking at the chops. I don't think Prospect did Stag any favors, because you know that Edwardsville team would love another shot at the Prospect Knights. Great state championship game last year.
All number 1 seeds in 7A have been knocked out. Libertyville, Buffalo Grove, Hubbard of Chicago, and Oswego.
Stevenson playing tomorrow, minus Brian Schuster, running back. Great game when you got Lockport matched up against Hinsdale Central, maybe the best game of the Saturday action.
And they will take the flag and just run that clock down with 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes remaining in this Class 7A semifinal matchup. 2 minutes in our season.
Delay the game.
I think one of the big keys for Prospect, Perry, when you talk to the coaching staff, early in the year, I think some of the seniors and even some of the juniors felt the pressure of trying to accomplish what the guys did last year, and they were playing a little bit tighter, and they weren't playing free-flowing football. Brent Perlman, the coaching staff, talked it over. They noticed that. They made a change in their practicing. They made a change a little bit with the mental philosophy. The players going out and having fun more in practice, just playing with a little more enthusiasm, playing looser. When they made that change at about the halfway mark, it made a huge difference. Really, one of the key turnarounds to Prospect season. Kind of a subtle psychological change, but it made a big difference.
Dahl, the ball carrier that time, and they'll probably let the clock wind down further.
Can never play afraid not to lose. You got to go out and play to win and have fun and play with enthusiasm, and that's what that Prospect team has done. See the Lake Zurich defense there converging and trying to prevent the Knights from getting yet another score.
And they may just take the penalty here on 4th down as well.
Now, this group of seniors you talked about at Perry for Lake Zurich has really set an example for all the lower levels. It has ignited and I use the word ignited, the Junior Flames Lake Zurich football program. They're going to leave a great legacy here, and certainly Mike DiMatteo will hope to keep that tradition going here at Lake Zurich.
On the night, Dahl, 175 yards on the ground.
Wow.
And now, in fact, they'll just take a timeout. So the penalty, timeout on 4th down.
175 on the ground. If you get the stats on how many he's thrown in the air, it's been an amazing night for Jared Dow. Senior quarterback doesn't get as much notoriety, and amazingly enough, Perry, and we've talked about this before, but we remember so many times in the early years going to Prospect High School when their program was really down. A couple of no-win years, numbers they had maybe 30, 35 on the varsity, and it is amazing the turnaround that Prospect football has gone through.
Dahl, now he talked about his rushing, but 8 for 10 through the air. That's 80%. 114 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I had him for 115, but I'll go with Statman Locasio.
And we certainly want to thank all the people here on our AT&T production team. As you see their names each and every week go by.
Yeah, no question about it. The cameramen, especially during the cold nights that are out there hanging onto those cameras, freezing and getting us great pictures and getting us great replay looks. It's been a tremendous staff to work with, Perry.
And they're looking forward to the basketball season after the first of the year, our Northern Region games of the week. Everyone will be inside. We're not going to play basketball on someone's driveway. Here's on 4th down. Dahl gets battered around, and he is in the end zone for the touchdown. Jared Dahl.
Bounced around like a pinball there a couple of times, but somehow kept his balance. And the Prospect Night flag, it's been flying a lot here in this ball game, and the flags are out again, marching towards the end zone. Put up 6 more for the Prospect Night.
Well, last year they won the semifinals, beating Bolingbrook 47-22. Right now they lead at 41-18. And once again, it's Brian Bell for the extra point. But you're right, John, for Lake Zurich and the effect, the excitement of a program like this on the lower levels, the kick is blocked. So we have 58 seconds remaining in the game, and Prospect is 58 ticks away. 41-18 is your score from going down to the state championship game 7A next weekend in Champaign-Urbana.
I think people are starting to believe Brent Perlman when he said it's not a one-year thing. We are building a tradition here. This was not a fluke, and a lot of people said, yeah, well, let's wait and see. And this Prospect group, again, struggled a little bit during the season, lost a couple of games during the regular season, but when it's counted most, they have got hot here in the regular season, and tonight, maybe playing their most complete playoff game, and a lot of it behind this guy right here, the senior quarterback, Jared Dowell, with his feet, with his arm, brilliant tonight.
Now they'll line up for the kickoff. And I think Lake Zurich has a few players out there that haven't seen a whole lot of action here tonight, but now they get a chance to be in a state semifinal game.
It's a great move by the coaching staff, outstanding. Probably some of the sophomores from the sophomore team dressed up for this varsity game just to get a taste of playoff football. A taste that Mike DiMatteo would like to become a familiar taste for the Lake Zurich program.
Well, they certainly gave notice this year in the Fox Valley and here in the playoffs. Here's Moore at the 30-yard line. He is wrapped up there by Scott Sprague.
And sometimes the Fox Valley Conference, Perry, being way up north, and the fact that they play all conference games, they don't get their due respect. A lot of people don't think the Fox Valley teams as tough, but again this year they proved it the last couple of years, and again this year Fox Valley teams advancing deep into the playoffs. Crystal Lake South makes the quarters, Lake Zurich makes the semifinals. We've said it before, Fox Valley football is good as any conference around.
Well, Beatty stays in at quarterback.
Just a long drive to get up there.
But that's okay, we enjoy it. There's always good hospitality and excellent football and great concessions to boot.
Maybe next year they could move the conference a little farther south so the drives wouldn't be so far.
This is great country up this part of Illinois, great football. Second down coming up. And we have 30 seconds remaining. Remember, Prospect jumped out to 14-0 lead, and then 14-0 lead, and then 2 touchdowns. Got it to 14-12. Then after that, it's been all Knights, as they are 20 seconds now away. They move the chains after the first down. Stop the clock briefly.
Might be the final play in the 2002 season for Lake Zurich Flames. Of course, for Prospect, one more game to go, but it won't be around here. It'll be down in Champaign, home of the Fighting Illini, playing for the state championship.
Here's Chris Redding of the Bears. And Redding carries a couple tacklers for a first down to the 45-yard line. No quitting these Bears, I'll tell you that.
Of course, the first down stops the clock, so the Bears get one more play. What a brilliant career. Chris Redding will go down as one of the greatest runners to ever play at Lake Zurich High School.
They move the chains. They reset the clock. Everybody up at the line of scrimmage, trying to get one more play off. And they do, and they give it to Redding. Redding.
You're going to get one more play.
Yeah, with 2 seconds left, they'll move the chains.
And just to show you how big this game is, the Lake Zurich girls basketball team was supposed to open tonight. Supposed to have their first game. The team they were going to play agreed to, made a nice move to change the game to Saturday so the young ladies and the coaches could be here to cheer on the football team. A nice move by the opposing school, just an indication of how important this game was. Carl Kraus, the girls basketball coach, the PA announcer.
Well, the game comes to an end, and the Prospect fans swarm the field onto the championship game in Champaign. Prospect wins it here tonight, 41-18. Great effort by Lake Zurich, but Prospect will defend its state title. Back with our Player of the Games interviews right after this.
You're watching the AT&T Broadband Network.
For the Prospect Knights as they defeat Lake Zurich here tonight, 41-18. And now let's go in the field and hear from Eric Smith with our players of the game, Daily Herald style.
Thanks very, very much. Nick Iovino. Excellent game. This has become old hat for you guys, though, isn't it? You're going down 2 years in a row.
Well, it's just great. This has been, from the beginning, this is our goal, and it's nice to see our hard work's finally paid off.
Now, offensively, you guys just happen to put things away and just shut this game out towards the second half.
Our whole offense is just rolling. The offensive, I didn't see anyone near Jared the whole night. The offensive line was protecting, and Jared he makes plays. He just makes plays. He found the open receiver tonight. It was me, so.
Well, guys, you got tomorrow to make your reservations for Champaign. Good luck down there. Perry, John, let's wrap things up.
All right, congratulations to Prospect and also to Lake Zurich for an outstanding season. There's your final score, 41-18. Coach, any final thoughts?
It's been a tremendous season, Perry. Pleasure working with you. And for Lake Zurich, tough defeat. And the Prospect Knights continue to amaze. Best of luck when they head down to Champaign.
And great working with you as well, the coach John Cohn, and for Eric Schmidt, our staff man extraordinaire, Matt Lacasio, our producer-director, Janelle Nels, and our entire AT&T production team. Great job, everybody. And we thank you for watching at home. We hope you enjoyed our Northern Region Games of the Week. And congratulations to Prospect on to the state championship game. So far, our entire crew, this is Perry Williams saying, thanks so much for watching, and so long, everybody.